All right. Hello, hello, and welcome to day 19, lesson 19 on our journey in this student section of the workbook of A Course in Miracles. My name is Oliver Blue, and I'm so excited to be your temporary guide for this lesson. And it's just a great moment. And so let's have this moment together as we go through workbook lesson 19, taking that next rung up, that next step, 19 steps we've taken so far. And boy, how much have we learned in just these 19 lessons? And as you know, the first part of this journey has to do with the undoing of the way that we think now so that we can prepare for the installation, the installing of a new way of thinking, a real way of thinking, which will be um, what will take place in the second half of our journey. Okay, because we got to have an operating system. Without an operating system, won't nothing happen. I mean, ain't nothing gonna get done. If the cook don't cook in the kitchen, there won't be nothing to eat. So if we uninstall one system, we got to install a new system. And so let's just look at it that way. We're gonna bring in a better system, a more up-to-date system, one that is everlasting to everlasting, one that is in alignment with our with our true nature, our true essential self as love. Okay, so raise your hand if you are all in agreement for an upgrade. Yeah, this is an upgrade in our mind. We're upgrading the operating system in our mind. Why? Because all of us, none of us have been void of being conditioned with false perceptions. None of us have missed out on being programmed in our conscious, subconscious with false ideas that are not true. Most of us, grew up in some household that had parents, and initially we became the reflection of our parents. Why? Because they poured into us what they knew, and but what they knew was not all there is to know. Just like you as a parent, when you start parenting, you didn't know everything. You know more than you did when you started, but it wasn't all there is to know. None of us know all there is to know. But all of us have the capacity to know all there is to know, because all there is to know is who we are. We just got to tap into this infinite intelligence that we call a higher power, or we call God. In the West, we call God. In the East, they just call it pure presence, awareness, man. Everything is all God. Over here, we're a little more religious. But that's changing too. Okay, so workbook lesson 19 the idea for today is I am. We're back in this I am present. I am, again, is representative of presence. When we say I am, we're establishing that we're in the present moment. But what's important, what also is equally important is what comes after that. So I am what? So in this present moment, what are you saying about yourself? I am what? Are you saying that you are innocent, or are you saying that you are guilty? Are you saying that you are a sinner? Or are you saying you are a saint? Are you saying that you are fearful? Or are you saying you are love? What are you saying? Who do you say that you are? That's what counts. That's what you're going to experience. What do you say about yourself is what you're going to experience. There's a book that's written, and the title of it is As a Man Thinketh. As a man thinketh, so is he. And he didn't say as a man have a thought, because we're all going to have a thought, but we don't have to give any credence to the thought. We don't have to give any energy to the thought. We don't have to give any attention to the thought. But the moment that we give credence to it, the moment that we give attention to it, the moment that it captivates us and we begin to meditate on it, that's thinketh, meaning continue to think about it. As a man thinketh, continuation. So we live in an environment of thoughts, and they're all vying for our what? Attention. Where are you putting your attention? Are you putting your attention on the truth, on what's real, or are you putting your attention on what's false and what's not real? That will determine your experience. That will determine your perception. There's a relationship between our thinking and our seeing. And we're going to get into a little bit of that in today's lessons. So I am not alone. I am not alone. I am not the only one experiencing the effects of my thoughts. Wow. If you remember lesson 18, it was a similar idea, but it was referring to our seeing. It was, I am not alone in experiencing the effect of our seeing. So it starts out with teaching us about our seeing, that we're not the only one affected by the way we see or the way we perceive. And today it's like it started out and it brought us in. Now it's bringing us inward. It's turning us inward and said, I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. Very interesting, huh? You're not alone. We're not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. In other words, my thought affects everyone. You say, how is that possible? Well, let's get into the lesson. It says, the idea for today that I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of my thought is obviously the reason why your seeing does not affect you alone. So the reason that my seeing doesn't affect me alone is the reason why my thoughts don't affect me alone. You will notice that at times, the ideas related to thinking precede those related to perceiving, while at other times the order is reversed. Sometimes the lessons talk about seeing first, and then it talks about thought. And then at other times, when it's introducing an idea, it'll talk about thoughts first, and then perceiving or seeing. Okay? So what it's saying is that one sometimes perceive the other, and that's a reason for that. It says the reason is that the order does not matter. It doesn't matter whether our seeing produces real or unreal reality or unreality, and it doesn't matter that our thoughts produce reality or unreality in terms of order. What matters is that we don't see it alone, and we don't think it alone. We're not our seeing, and our lesson is our seeing and our thinking creates an effect, and it does not only affect us. We're not the only one it affects. Why? Why is that? I mean, I'm an individual. I'm separated from everybody else. I mean, why is my thinking or my perceiving affecting someone else? Well, let's talk about it. It says the reason is that the order does not matter. So there is no order where that changes the effect. The effects is still going to be the same. It says thinking and its results, or the results of our thinking, are really simultaneous, for cause and effect are never separate. In other words, two sides of the same one coin. Like wet and water. Wet and water, same coin. One experience is one, other experience is another, but they're the same coin. Giving and receiving, they're the same. When you give, you're receiving. Why? Because you're only giving to yourself. Because who you're giving to is yourself, because there's only one of us. You get it? Remember now, in truth, there are no opposites. There are no separations. Everything is one. Everything is the one thing. And one thing is everything. Okay? We're getting metaphysical on you, okay? Because this is the mind of Christ. This is the way Christ thought. So what you're seeing is always a reflection of what you're thinking. And what you're thinking is always a reflection of what you're seeing. Two sides of the same coin. They're not separate. You cannot think that you can think one way and see another, or see one way and think another. It doesn't work that way. They're one act of love, or one act of fear. It's one or the other. One act of reality, or it's an act of unreality, or not reality. Unreality, is that a word? It's all right. Y'all get my point. It's one and the same. When you do one, you do the other. If there's a stick on the ground, if you pick up one end of the stick, you pick the other one up. You can't pick one up without one end of the stick up without picking up the other, because what? It's one and the same. There you go. That's a great illustration. Oh my God. I love these lessons and these ideas. It really, really will shift your way of thinking and receiving if you give yourself to it. And you would want to. Okay, so thinking and its results are really simultaneous. It appears to be, I thought about it and then I saw it this way. It seemed like it happened at two different moments. But remember, there is no two moments. There's only the presence. Everything that we do is in the present. Everything we think is in the present. Everything we see is in the present. Everything we feel is in the present. It's not a past or a future. Those are illusions. Cause and effect. When you cause something, the effect of it happens instantaneously or simultaneously also. You may not experience it. You may experience it at a different time because we're in time, but time is an illusion too. When you realize you are in eternity and all there is what it is, then it is what it is in the moment that it is. No separation. See, no separation affects everything. It is the thing to let go of. When you let go of separation, you let go, and you let God. That's how you let go and you let God, is to let go of separation. Today, we are again emphasizing the fact that minds are joined. They're not separate. Cause and effect, not separate. Giving and receiving, not separate. One end of the stick and the other end of the stick, not separate. You and God, not separate. You and your brother, not separate. your thinking and your perceiving, not separate. It says, today we again emphasizing the fact that minds are joined. Your mind, his mind, her mind, they mind, it mind. They are joined. Only minds can join. We learned that from the last lesson. You cannot. We can have a shared interest. That's what joined means. Minds are joined, meaning we have shared interests. So there's nothing private or nothing personal. It's a shared interest. Don't we breathe the same breath? Aren't these bodies energized by the same one that breathing all of us? Shared interest. Isn't gravity supporting all of us, not just a few of us? Is it the law of lift that helps us to board an airplane and fly from one place in the world to another? Isn't that serving all of us? Or just gravity just works for certain, the law of lift works for just certain people? No, the laws are universal. No specialness in them. So what it's saying here again is that all minds are joined. This is a very important idea as we move up the ladder that the ego led us down. It says all minds are joined. This is rarely a wholly welcomed idea at first. This is one of these startling ideas that we have to embrace if we're going to embrace reality, that we're joined with everyone. We're not separated by race, nationality, religion, political, we appear to be. They say, America right now is the most polarized. It's the most polarized. I just activated Siri.
I found this on the web. For you said America right.
All right.
It's the most polarized. It's the most polar bears. I just activated Siri.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Okay, Siri. Good night. You can go back to sleep. Bye bye. She said that it's the most. I said polarized. She said polar bears. But just think about it. It says, in all of the history, we're more divided than we ever been. And we're not divided in minds, but we're acting like we're divided based on all of these special labels and all these special relationships, basing them on the color of skin, basing them on, where you was born, what country, basing it on, your gender, whether you're male or female, basing it on whether you're Jew or, you're Jew or, you're Christian or Muslim or Shinto or, Buddhist or whatever. We're all over the place. Why is that? Because we believe that we can join in body, and it's impossible. So we find somebody that would agree with my body, and we create, a culture of divided bodies. And thus you have a world of false perceptions. Living it out, playing the role. So it says, this is rarely a wholly welcome idea at first, since it seemed to carry with it an enormous sense of responsibility and may even be regarded as an invasion of privacy. Well, if all minds are joined and we all share the same mind, then that means I have no private thoughts. I have no privacy. You mean everybody know what I'm thinking? It's not that everybody know what you're thinking. It's that everybody has access to the same right-mindedness, and everybody have access to the illusionary wrong-mindedness. We have access to all of the same thoughts. So it appeared, even though it appeared that you're thinking these thoughts independent and of yourself, in reality, you're not. The same thought you're thinking is in the vibrational atmosphere. It's just a matter of what thoughts are you giving awareness to? What thoughts are you giving attention to? What thoughts are you giving allegiance to? What thoughts are you calling your own? I am this, I am that. Invasion of privacy. Yet it is a fact that there are no private thoughts. Okay, there you have it. There are no private thoughts. Why? We all have access to, in the ether of the world of thoughts. It says, despite your initial resistance to this idea, you will yet understand that it must be true if salvation is possible for all. So if salvation is possible for one, it's possible for all. Okay? If thoughts are possible for one, it's possible for all. Remember, there are no exceptions in our training, in our mind training. All is one and one is all. There's no specialness, no separation. So that means that I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts or my perceiving. All salvation must be possible because it is the will of love. It is the one will of God that salvation is possible for everyone. And so that is the case. It says the minute or so of mind searching for today with today's exercises require that it be undertaken with the eyes closed. So today when you do your exercise, close your eyes. You think you first, we're going to say, I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. And then we're going to close our eyes and do some mind searching. It says, so close the eyes. The idea for today is to be repeated first, and then the mind should be carefully searched for thoughts it contains at that time. So say the idea, close your eyes, search your mind for thoughts that are happening then. As you consider each thought, name it in terms of the central person or theme it contains, and holding it in your mind as you do so, say. So thoughts going to be about people, places, things, okay? Themes. So as you identify these thoughts that are floating through your mind, say, I am not alone in experiencing the effect of this thought about a person, place, thing, idea. I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of this thought about me, or about the president, or about my neighbor, or about my mother, or about my brother, or about my bank account, or about my health, or about my job. I'm not alone in experiencing the effect of this thought about my job, or about my service, or about my time, about my money. Okay, so whatever. The requirement of the requirement of such must indiscriminateness also possible as possible. We must be indiscriminate as possible about our selection of subjects for this practice period. We should be quite familiar with the fact that we don't exempt anything now, that it applies to everything. We've done this for 18 lessons. That's been the instruction. So we should have learned that now, that we apply these ideas to everything, no exceptions at all. If there's one exception, then we're not applying the idea for the purpose of these lessons. Whether you agree with them, whether they're startling, whether they make sense, we just, the transfer comes in the doing of the exercises. That's what will eventually show you that these ideas are real and they are true. The proof is in the putting, and you putting it on and wearing them. Put on the exercise and wear them. So if it says close your eyes, we're going to close our eyes. If it says read the idea, we're going to read the idea first. If it says search your mind, we're going to search our mind. Or if it tells you to open your eyes, look around, and as you see all the objects around you, choose them indiscriminately. Any of them. Don't give one any credence over the other. Because what? They're all the same. Just different form. All of it's energy. All of it's love. All of it's God. It says, do not forget, however, that random selection of subjects for all practice periods remain essential throughout. Lack of order in this correction will ultimately make the recognition of lack of order in miracles meaningful to you. So the order the order does not matter. The fact that you have resistance does not matter. The fact that you may be startled about an idea, it does not matter. The only thing that matters is the application of the exercises and the way that you have been instructed. That's all. And you don't have to do them perfectly as you go through your day. If you find yourself thinking and seeing different than the exercise, that doesn't matter. We're not asking you to do them perfectly. We're just asking you to do them, and do them in intervals of 2 or 3 times of what it's asking us. Say 2 or 3 times, pause during your day and bring the idea back into your awareness. Okay? Very important. I don't get it right every day. I don't remember every day to do it 3 times, 4 times, but I remember the idea for the day. I keep going back to it at different times. It says lack of order in this connection will ultimately make the recognition of lack of order in miracles meaningful to you. Because what eventually the idea will be brought forth that there is no order of difficulties in miracles, in the way we can shift our perception to change everything. Miracles are acts of love. There's no order of difficulty. There's nothing that cannot be healed. There's no thought, there's no feeling, there's no emotion, there's no past activity, event, there's no sensation, there's no object of activity that cannot be healed or seen or thought thought about in a way that is real. Everything can be seen from a different point of view. And that point of view is God's point of view, which we call true perception or Christ vision. Okay? Right-mindedness, right thinking, real thinking. It says, apart from the as-needed application of today's exercise, at least 3 practice periods are required, shortening the length of them of time involved if necessary. Do not attempt no more than 4. So early in these exercises, it's just saying, hey, 2 or 3 times a day, 4 times at the most, just revisit the idea for today. Think about it. Do the exercise. Close your eyes open. Choose an item. Choose an object. Or choose a thought. It's even asking you to choose an object, to choose a thought to apply the idea to. It's pretty simple. Okay, so we are 29 minutes in, and I wanted to finish within 30 minutes, and I'm going to. So it's been great. We love you so much, and Have fun practicing the idea for today. Sila.